This video is made for adult collectors. Hello Internet, I'm Roffy Offensive Recorder Offensive, that's my name, don't wear it out, and I love Masters of the Universe. Just like Transformers, I have my dad to thank for this. When I was a kid, he tried so hard to get me into Masters and offered to share his little collection with me. But I was at that age where I was like, no, I like my own things. So he promptly gave them to my brother, and their fate was tragically sealed. But as an adult, I've grown to love them. It's something that makes me feel connected to my dad. We spent a lot of time toy hunting for them and filling up the collection he never got to have as a kid. We even saw the movie together on opening night, and thanks to my dad, I grew up with some awesome toys like Transformers and later on Masters of the Universe. And when they announced the crossover of the two, I just had to have them. Today, in celebration of the Masters of the Universe movie, I'll be opening up my Optimus Prime armored He-Man. This is so exciting. The figure looks incredible. The box looks incredible. Everything about this looks incredible. The box is an homage to Gen 1 Transformers packaging where they would do the wireframe over the red for the Autobots, and they mixed it over with the exploding rocks of G1 Masters of the Universe. On the side of the box, we get to see the two heroes, He-Man himself and Optimus Prime. And on the back, we get the big illustration you'd normally see on the Masters of the Universe box. It's He-Man doing the iconic Optimus pose. And to be honest, I'm most excited for the accessories. I can't wait to give these to an Optimus. Something I knew about this figure and didn't like was that they used the vintage style face for him. I mean, they made him a new one for Origins and they made them that one for the cartoon accurate line, and I personally think this was a weird choice. I was hoping the helmet would come off so I can swap the head out, but it looks like it's actually molded on. Getting him out of the box was a hassle. They had taped over the little flap and I couldn't get my knife in there, but once I got the tape off, the flap was tight and I ended up ripping the box. But hidden under there was a stat sheet, just like the vintage Transformers did too on their boxes. While taking them out of the box, I was pleasantly reminded that Masters bring comics. Because He-Man was one of the last figures in the line, it seems like this one is the conclusion of the series. In this comic, He-Man triumphs over Skeletor and Starscream gets away as usual. The story of good wins and evil gets away to be evil another day. Like I said earlier, I'm super excited for the accessories. The clear plastic on these is done perfectly. The Matrix sword is fantastic. The honeycomb blade adds a lot of texture to it, and I think it's a nod to the crystal inside the Matrix and how it has a diamond pattern. The Matrix blends with the power sword so well, and the handles of the Matrix transition seamlessly into the keons of the sword. The only issue I have with it is that it's a clear plastic that's been painted over, so it flakes and chips. The axe in particular is my favorite. The thickness causes this gradient. It's deeper in the middle and it's bright on the outside. It's almost like it's glowing. Even though it's great, the features on the axe aren't that defined and you can barely tell they're there sometimes. And it seems like you have to plug it into the arm, and I really dislike that because it means I have to take the hand off, and I hate having to put stuff in my bin full of parts. Parts forming on a He-Man figure is definitely uncool. Now, the shield on the other hand is pretty underwhelming. It has the symbol that we see on He-Man's shield, but just cut out from the silhouette. It does the rims and the spikes too, but they're all the same color so you can kind of barely tell. And it does the honeycomb pattern thing again, like it's another projection of the Matrix. Now, He-Man himself is fantastic, but I couldn't help but notice that his antenna was crooked right out of the box. How unfortunate, and it seems like it's not going to fix itself anytime soon. So I thought he was a retool of an existing armor like the Battle Armor, Thunder Fist, Laser, or even Zodak's armor. But after some research, it's apparently a new mold entirely. So as you can see, I'm kind of fiddling with it because his joints are so tight and I was so afraid to apply any force behind them. Because I think there's this issue with Masters. I have some Masters that I've stored away because I've broken their knees. So as you saw a second ago, Masters also have this issue where the calf ends and the boots begin, and this specific joint can usually be loose as hell. You know how I said I hated the face? Thankfully, we get an attachable mouth plate that I am never taking off. So once he's put all together, he looks unbelievable. Everything works so well together. He-Man's yellow blonde hair is this rich matte yellow, and it looks insane next to the glittery blue of Optimus's helmet. The Optimus armor is so creative. Comparing this to the Studio 86 Optimus, he has almost everything. His shoulders have Optimus's Autobot insignia and the smokestacks. His chest plate is Optimus's windows, and it incorporates the little He-Man H to separate them. And He-Man's straps are painted silver, and I think they were kind of going for this little line on Optimus's side. The abs on He-Man's armor is most likely Optimus's grill, and on the wrists, it adds these little details. You can see that on the 86 Optimus, he doesn't have them painted in, and they aren't colored in the animation either. But in the Bumblebee movie, he actually does have these colored. And He-Man does have these little spikes on his wrist, but I think they're supposed to be the little clearance lights on the cab. With He-Man's belt being Optimus's yellow buttons, it's a great pop of color. I like that it's not just a small detail, but it goes all the way around with pouches on the side, and his buckle does the Optimus buttons. And being gold instead of yellow is the most He-Man thing ever, and it looks great. Under all the armor, he's this light grayish white that in the best light hits the white like Optimus, and it just looks premium. His boots, and side note, the gloves, are one of my favorite things about this figure. The blue on this figure is amazing, but his boots have so much of this glittery clear blue plastic that you can see the swirls and depth of the mix of blues it uses. And it shines differently in every pose you put him in. My only complaint is that the lining of the boots is a painted gray silver, and you know what happens to paint over clear plastic. So this figure may be incredible, but it's not perfect. These figures have so many QC issues. That's actually what stopped me from buying it in the first place, because they were all so messed up. They had scratches and paint was everywhere. I waited so long to buy these things because of the issues that they actually went on clearance. That's what actually made me feel good enough to buy it. But with that being said, it's a 9 out of 10 figure. It's all there. It's everything you need. It's just that the QC issues are a bit of a distraction. But if you can get your hands on this figure, I say go for it. It's just a little hard to figure out where I want to put it. He fits in better with the Transformers than his own Masters of the Universe. But I think that's a good thing because he adds a little something to the collection. When I first opened him, I was only excited for the accessories, but once I got a better look at him out of the box, I loved it. And now I'm even more excited to open the others because I'm excited for the figures this time. So I'm ready to be blown away by the others. And if you want to see me open them, you better subscribe.